Well, hello everyone, and I hope you are all well. Before I start today's video, I want to say to all my fellow Montrealers and everyone in Quebec, I hope you have got your power back on. I know I was without power for 4.5, 5 days. It only just came back on early this morning here. So this video is a little bit rushed, using a few things I had and a few things I was able to get. Please remember, when you go to your local store, they were without power too. So please don't get angry if when you go, they don't have your favorite brand of soda or your favorite whatever. A lot of the stuff that they had, just like myself, all had to go in the garbage. I chucked out 4.5, 5 bags of stuff that had thawed during the power outage, and there's no way I'm going to eat it and take the risk. So please have a little courtesy to everyone else. Remember, they also had no power. They're there to help you right now. So, with that being said, let's get on and enjoy today's video. Well, hello everybody. It is so good to see you again. As you just saw, we had a little normie walk past. For those of you know, there he is again. For those of you know, in Canada, in Quebec, we had a major ice storm. We lost our power for 5 days. So this is why this week's video is a bit late. Can't help that. But today I want to do something that I missed because of the blackout. While a lot of you celebrate Easter, I celebrate Passover, Jewish equivalent. And one of the things that is so popular during the holidays are potato Kinishes. And what this is basically a potato dish, a mashed potato, that you wrap up in some flaky pastry and you bake, and it's served as a side with your meal. But they are so good anytime. And as the old saying goes, you don't have to be Jewish to enjoy a Kinish. They go so well with roasts, with deli sandwiches, you name it. Put a Kinish on the plate. Better than fries, almost. But super easy to make. Takes a little bit of time just because of the cooking, but ingredient-wise, you can make it as simple as you want. You do some standard mashed potatoes. Now, to get more flavor in there, I'm cooking them in some chicken stock. I'm not making these kosher, sorry. There is going to be some cheese, some bacon in there. We're also going to have some onion. So, what we are going to do, because we have a few pots ready to go, first things first, we're going to get our pot on and get our chicken stock cooking, or warming up. So, this is also a great dish if you've made a roast dinner or something and you have leftover mashed potatoes. Great. Toss them in, like I say, with some flaky pastry, and so good. The chicken stock that I'm cooking the potatoes in, I'm going to turn into a soup after. It's one I've already done. I used a beef broth last time, but I'm going to do the Italian marriage soup. I'm calling it the right thing, not the wedding soup. So I'm going to throw some meatballs in there. I'm going to throw some spinach in there, some pasta, and we're just going to go from there. Now, for potatoes, I am using Idaho russet potatoes. You can really use any potato you want as long as it makes a good mashed. So red potatoes are going to work fine as well. And I'm not going to go crazy because I am going to be mashing these up. But what I am going to do, because I like it, I'm leaving the skins on. I find it just gives a little bit more texture, a lot more flavor, and there's a lot of good stuff in those skins, so use them. If you don't want to leave the skins on, that's fine. Make your mashed potatoes how you would normally make them. The only thing I would say is if you're someone who likes whipped potatoes, maybe put less liquid in it so they're a bit thicker. I'm just cutting out some of the eyes and the dark spots. But I have made these with just straightforward potato, onion, some traditional bacon fat, or not bacon fat, sorry, with some traditional chicken fat, which is known as schmaltz, or the good stuff. And you can find it now, actually, they look like pudding cups in a lot of stores, especially if they have a Jewish section or a kosher section. And they'll be with the regular fats and oils. So they don't have to be rendered or anything. It's just the fat that comes off the chicken as it is cooked. And it just adds so much flavor to everything. Not the healthiest of choices, but a good one. So we now have our potato diced up in the chicken stock. That is going to cook up. We're going to get the other cam started in sync. There. So we have our other camera that'll be somewhere. And we're just going to do this now on a medium heat. While that is warming up, we're going to add some nice olive oil. And we have our onion. Just a normal white onion or yellow onion is fine. I normally don't use red onions with this because they just discolor everything. I do want to try and move the camera so you can see how I would dice an onion. So give me a sec. I don't know what happened there. My camera shut off. I'm going to have to check if it recorded. If not, we're going to have to do this again. So what I have here is my onion. We've just sliced down. Okay, so you can see, but not all the way to the end. And this way, when you cut, it all separates into nice little pieces. So we're just going to quickly chop this up. Double checking the other camera at least is still recording. There, so we have our onion. It doesn't have to be small, it doesn't have to be fancy. Hell, if you don't like garlic, onion, don't even put it in. There. So we have now our diced onion. Now we're going to go more to the other side, where we have our fry pan or a skillet, our oil. And what we want to do is we want to cook these till they're really nice and soft, golden brown. And get our spatula out. And just give those a little push around. Now also to help get the moisture out, we're going to use just some pink salt. You can use any salt you want, kosher salt, table salt. Just don't use road salt. So all in all, we have maybe a teaspoon of oil in there, of salt in there. Next, we're going to take our bacon. We're just going to cut it into little strips. So we've just cut it into little pieces. And this now goes in with our onion. Our potatoes are cooking up nicely. Trying to clean up a little bit as we go. So we'll go back to the other camera. And like I said, we're going to let this cook till that bacon is nice and crisp and these onions are nice and soft with a golden brown color. So while I'm doing this, we're going to take a quick break. Maybe we'll time lapse this, maybe we'll just cut to something. Who knows? We'll figure it out in editing. But till then, we will see you when we come back. Okay, so our onions are now at how I want them. Okay, see, they're nice golden brown. The bacon is nice and crisp. What I am going to do is just put that off the heat for now, because we don't want them to cook anymore. But we do need them to cool down a bit, because it's going to be really hard to mix that into our potatoes, which are just over here. So through some camera magic, you can now see our potatoes. Using a good old classic potato masher, we're just going to get in there. Now, when you're making traditional potato Kinishes, I say you'd have some chicken fat in here, some schmaltz, but we're going to get the fat from the bacon. They would also mix either some sour cream or some cream cheese into here. I'm not going to do that because after the power outage, it's just really hard to find right now. So I'm not totally decimating these potatoes. I want a few little chunks left in there. I am going to add a tablespoon of butter without any of the foil on it. And now we are carefully, I'm going to have to move this, we're carefully going to mix in our onion and bacon mix. So we're going to have all these nice flecks of the caramelized onion. So between the bacon fat and the butter, we've got a ton of extra flavor driven in there. And next goes in some cheese. Now this, again, I just crumbled up. You can use grated cheese if you want. You can use whatever cheese you like. Leave the cheese out. It's fully up to you. again, we're going to have some nice big chunks of cheese in there. And now we give it a little taste for seasoning. So, got a little bit of everything. I'm getting the chicken stock, we're getting those onions, the bacon's coming through. Now, I didn't have any of the cheese in there, but that's fine. That's going to be the little bonus. I am going to add, though, a bit more salt and camera shift, because it was behind, some black pepper. I added, for the amount of potatoes there, I added about a teaspoon. But again, make your potatoes how you like them. I say this is great for clearing out your leftovers. The other thing is, if you don't want to use pre-made puff pastry, make your own pastry. Any short crust pastry will work really well with this. So, oven's ready, but we're not ready, because if I take this hot mix and add it to my cold pastry, it's going to get all soggy. So this has to cool down. So we're going to give it about 20 minutes, and then we're going to come back and we're going to make all this. So this is why using leftover mashed potatoes is such a time saver. We'll show you all when we come back how we make these. So until then, we'll see you soon. Hello everyone and welcome back. We have waited about 20 minutes. Our potatoes, as you see in the other camera, are nice and cooled down. We want to make it so that we can handle these. Hot potatoes really hurt when you start playing around with them. So what I've done here is, like I showed you, we have our puff pastry. I've just cut it in half, so it makes it a bit easier for this. But what we are going to do is we're going to use a little food glue, better known as just an egg. What we're going to do is just going to brush that along one side, and that is going to close this up, that when we roll it, they won't come apart. Now, this is the easy way to do a Kinish. You can also cut these into squares, put your potato in the middle, and then fold up the corners. But this just makes a really nice long one that you can cut up into bite-sized pieces. There's no right or wrong way. So we're going to take our potato filling, just making sure the other camera's picking this up. We want to make sure there's enough in there, but we don't want to overfill it. Because if we do, it's going to make it impossible to roll, and we might split the pastry. So, be generous, but don't go crazy. Now, I'm just going to pat this down, see how it looks. This one definitely needs a bit more. We can still use some more at the end here. Now, chances are you're going to have some extra potato. And you know what? That's fine, because just as these are, with the onion and the cheese and everything, it's almost like eating a loaded baked potato, but without the skins. But we have the skins in there, so it is just like a loaded baked potato. As you can see on the other cam now, we're going to take up our edge, and I'm thinking, you know what, I do have a bit too much in here. So to make it easier, I'm just going to cut So we get a nice line. There we go. So we're going to fold up our pastry, pulling it up. Come on. There we go. And twist that down to the other side. Now the seam is at the bottom. That's perfect. This one, I'm going to leave all that extra potato in. So I want to see what happens. Curious minds want to know. Is the puff going to expand enough to take that extra payload? Or is it just going to explode into a huge mess? So we have our potato logs. Again, we're going to take our egg wash. We're going to brush. So what this is going to do is make it all nice, golden brown, shiny. It's just going to make it look better. So I'm not soaking it. It's just a light coating. It doesn't have to be perfect. But we want to try and get it everywhere so it browns evenly. Next, we do have to pause the camera for a sec. Actually, let's see. Do a shift. Yeah, we have to pause for a sec. 1 second, please. And we are back. Why? Because I want to get some sesame seeds. I want to sort of boost this up a bit more. Didn't want to open. So what we're just going to do is sprinkle a bunch of sesame seeds on top. We'll just give it another little layer of flavor, a nice texture, a little crispy crunch. And not only that, it's fairly traditional. These are going to toast up as they cook. Like I say, so they're going to give us a nice little flavor. I think we just need a little bit more over here. There we go. And we are set. What you can do, if you want, is with a sharp knife. I'm only going to do it on one. It's just cut into little pieces. And we're just going to leave it like that. Our oven is preheated to 400 degrees. Now I'm using convection, so it's 375. A little bit lower, but it's going to help it cook a little bit more evenly. And these are going to cook for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. I'm looking at this, and you know what? I am going to cut the other one. Just because cutting puff pastry can be a bit tricky. There we go. They don't have to be cut perfectly, just cut. So as you see, we have our puff pastry and everything, and into that hot oven they go. 25 minutes, and we will see you when they come out. Hello again. We are back, but we have taken them out of the oven. They took 20 minutes. We let them cool down a little bit just because I don't feel like burning myself today. Put a few on a plate and just look at those nice, gorgeous, golden brown. That potato filling in there. The sesame seeds toasted up nicely. So they're nice and golden brown. Get a better look inside. See the cheese, the bacon. You could see, obviously, the onions in there. because we really brown them, they've almost stained all the potatoes. They're going to give that incredible, intense flavor. The crust, nice, puffy. The only thing left to do. Oh my God, I thought they would have cooled down enough, but you can see yourself the amount of steam coming off those. Sorry, they're just so good. I'm sort of at a loss for words. If you have the potatoes already done, cook up your onions, whatever else you want in there. Just do the potatoes. If you've already seasoned your potatoes, put them in your pastry, roll it up, bake it, and you've got the best little bundles of potato goodness. All the flavors come together. That buttery crust is just so good. What's the best way to eat these? Like I said, with a roast, with a deli sandwich, nice big corned beef or smoked meat sandwich, a couple of these on side. But I think the best way to eat these, honestly, is just with your fingers and enjoy. So, until next time, my name is Andrew. I am the 5 p.m. chef. And I really cannot wait to see you next time. Have yourself a great day. Be safe. And tell the ones closest to you you love them as always. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.